Court call the cases of People versus Robin Beeman, cases numbers 24-7381, 21-47703, both FH. Time, date, and place set for the taking of a plea. In both of these cases, the attorneys would give their full appearances for the record.
There's on behalf of People, Your Honor.
Joseph Albasta on behalf of Ms. Beeman.
And Ms. Beeman is appearing remotely as well as Mr. Albasta. Ms. Beeman, do you have any objection to proceeding remotely this afternoon?
No.
The court is proceeding remotely pursuant to administrative order from the Michigan Supreme Court, which permits me to do so. I am live streaming to my YouTube station, and my court reporter, as you can see, is in the courtroom, and she is making a verbatim record of this proceeding. No one is allowed to make an unauthorized reproduction or recording of this matter. If they do, they may be held in contempt of court. It's my understanding a plea offer has been extended to Ms. Beeman through counsel. Mr. Souter, if you have placed that plea offer on the record.
The plea offer in these two files is starting with case 20 ending 381 FH would be plead guilty to count 3, assault and battery, 93-day misdemeanor, and an added count 6 of home invasion, second degree, 15-year felony. Counts 1, 2, and 5 would be dismissed with that offer, Judge. Additionally, Judge, case 21 ending 703 FH, we would dismiss that case in its entirety.
Mr. Albasta, is that an accurate recitation of the plea offer?
It is, Judge. That's our understanding of the plea offer, and my client wishes to avail herself of that plea here today.
Is that correct, Ms. Beeman?
Yes, sir.
And please raise your right hand and be sworn in. You do solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this cause now pending is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God. Say I do.
I do.
And you may put your hand down, ma'am, and if you would state your full name for the record.
Robin Beeman,
And middle name.
Tanisha.
And Ms. Beeman, my understanding of what's going to happen here today is that you're going to be tendering a plea of guilty to the offense in count 3, assault and battery.
Yes.
Mr. Albasta, Mr. Souter, you indicated that's kind of strange what I have in the information here. It has domestic violence and or knowingly assaulting a pregnant individual, third offense notice as a 93-day misdemeanor. It appears that the intent was to was for that to be an assault and battery, to charge it as an assault and battery, but it was charged as a third offense, a felony.
Judge, the complaint indicated assault and battery, so I don't know why it was mixed up like that. I'm just noticing that as well on the information.
Well, it appears that both counts 3 and 5 should be assault and battery because they're listed as 93-day misdemeanors, or perhaps a first offense, domestic violence. So we could do it as a admitted added count 6 charge of assault. We can do that as assault and battery, and then count 7 would be the home invasion, second degree. So don't go anywhere, Ms. Beeman. You
I'm
still
not.
there?
I'm just, yeah.
Okay. All right. So what we're going to do is the prosecuting official has moved to amend the information to add a count 6 of assault and battery. My understanding is that you're going to be pleading guilty to that assault and battery charge. You understand that is a misdemeanor carrying a maximum penalty of up to 93 days in jail and or a $500 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty for that offense, ma'am?
Yes.
And then count 7, they're adding a count 7 by way of amendment. That count 7 is for home invasion in the second degree. That is a felony, carrying a maximum penalty of up to 15 years in prison and or a $3,000 fine. Do you understand the maximum penalty for that offense?
Yes.
And then Ms. Beeman, at the time of sentencing, my understanding is that the prosecuting official will dismiss count 1, home invasion first degree, count 2, conspiracy to commit home invasion first degree, and then whatever this concoction is in counts 3 and 5, I'm not sure what that is. Domestic violence and or knowingly assaulting a pregnant individual, third offense notice, as well as count 5, which is the same offense. Whatever those offenses are, they're going to be dismissed. Mr. Sauter is not responsible for that, but Mr. Sauter, it's my understanding that you're going to dismiss those 2 charges, correct?
Correct, yes.
Very well. And is that your understanding of the plea offer in its entirety, Ms. Beeman, in addition to case ending in 703 being dismissed in its entirety?
Yes.
Are you currently on probation or parole for anything?
No.
Either counsel aware of any special sentencing considerations that would enhance the indicated maximum sentences, Mr. Sauter
No, Your Honor.
and Mr. Albaston?
No, Judge.
And Ms. Beeman, with all these things in mind, how do you wish to plead to the offense in count 6, assault and battery, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And count 7, home invasion in the 2nd degree, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
And ma'am, do you understand that if I accept your pleas of guilty, you will not have a trial of any kind? And you will be giving up the rights you would otherwise have at a trial. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Also, Ms. Beeman, the court is required to make sure that you are aware of all of your trial rights, and then you will be waiving those rights for purpose of entering this plea if you choose to do so. So you have the following trial rights. You have the right to be tried by a jury, a right to be presumed innocent until proved guilty, the right to have the prosecutor prove beyond a reasonable doubt that you are guilty. You have the right to have witnesses against you appear at the trial, to question the witnesses against you, and to have the court order any witnesses you have for your defense to appear at the trial. You have the right to remain silent during the trial, to not have that silence used against you, and to testify at the trial if you choose to do so. Do you understand all of those trial rights?
Yes.
And it's my understanding that you're waiving those rights at this time. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the court record will reflect that she understands her trial rights and that she's knowingly, voluntarily, and intelligently waived those rights to enter this plea. Ms. Beeman, do you understand that if I accept your plea, you're also giving up any claim that this plea was a result of promises or threats that are not disclosed to the court at this proceeding?
Yes.
And do you understand that if I accept your plea, you're also giving up any claim that it's not your own choice to plead guilty here this afternoon?
Yes.
And also, ma'am, do you understand that if I accept your plea, you may be giving up rights that would otherwise be available to you if you were convicted at a trial? Do you understand that?
Yes.
And Ms. Beeman, I'm going to have you remove your hand, take your hand down so we can hear you clearly. I know you're not feeling well, so I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can, okay?
Okay.
All right. Also, I want to advise you that if the plea is accepted, any appeal from a conviction and sentence pursuant to this plea will be by application for leave to appeal and not by right. That is, there would be no automatic right to appeal, but rather you would have to ask permission to have your case reviewed by a higher court. There is no guarantee or assurance a higher court would do so. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And while we're on this topic of you not feeling well, Ms. Beeman, have you been taking any medications? And if so, are you under the influence of any medications that would affect your ability to understand what's going on here today?
No.
Okay, so you're not on any medications right now?
No, sir.
Okay, I know you're not feeling well. I mean, is that interfering with anything that we're doing here on the record today? Is that causing you any issues in terms of your
No.
understanding with clarity? I want to make sure you're understanding everything that
I'm
I'm
fine.
doing and the attorneys are doing.
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm holding it together.
Okay, all right, good. Has anyone promised you anything beyond what's been stated in court on the record this afternoon to induce you to plead guilty?
No.
Has anyone threatened you in any manner to get you to plead guilty this afternoon?
No.
Is it your own choice to plead guilty, Ms. Beeman?
Yes.
And you're pleading guilty because you are in fact guilty of committing these offenses. Is that correct?
Yes.
And Mr. Albasta, you may question your client concerning what happened back on or about November 4th of 2018 in the township of Carlton, county of Saginaw, described in the information as 1525 Shust Apartment 2, as relates to counts 6 and 7, 6 being assault and battery, count 7 home invasion, second degree.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Beeman, back on November 4th of 2018, you were present at that apartment in Carlton Township in Saginaw County, Michigan, correct?
Yes.
And you broke and entered that apartment building, and the apartment belonged to Alexis Gutierrez.
I believe so.
Okay. And once you were inside that apartment, you pushed Miss Gutierrez, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you broke into that house with the intent to assault Miss Gutierrez, correct?
Yes.
No additional questions, Judge, for purpose of the plea.
And Mr. Souter, any additional questions?
People are satisfied.
Either counsel aware of any promises, threats, or inducements other than those already placed on the record?
No, Your Honor.
There are none.
And Mr. Souter has already indicated he's satisfied. Mr. Albasta, are you likewise satisfied the court has complied with all applicable court rules?
I am, Judge.
And Ms. Beeman, do you have any questions of the court?
No.
I find the plea to be understandingly made, voluntary, and accurate. I accept the plea. I'm going to refer this matter to the Michigan Department of Corrections for a pre-sentence investigation. Also, the court is going to order DNA profiling. The court, your attorney will explain that to you in further detail if it hasn't already been done. Also, the court is going to provide you with a packet from the Michigan Department of Corrections. Ms. Beeman, this packet must be completed and delivered to the Michigan Department of Corrections office on Bagley Street within 24 hours. So that would 24-hour business. So we're looking at business hours. So not including the weekend. So it would be on Monday. Ms. Beeman, I am going to I'm going to scan and email the packet to your attorney, Mr. Albasta, and then Mr. Albasta, presumably who has a email address for you, will email that packet to you that I just made reference to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I have her email address, Judge, and I will email that to her tonight.
Okay, very well. Sentencing will take place on
December 12th at 10:30.
December 12th at 10:30. Mr. Albasta, if you'd like to check your calendar and make sure that date and time work for you.
Do so right now, Your Honor.
Mm.
Just at 10:30 on December 12th, Judge, I am available.
All right, so Ms. Beeman, we'll see you here in person in the courtroom, barring any unforeseen medical issues or emergencies. You'll be here in person in the courtroom on December 12th at 10:30. Okay, so make sure you write that date and time down as you may or may not receive written notice in the mail. So December 12th at 10:30. Ms. Beeman, what the court is going to do, I'm going to stop the live stream unless there's anything for the record at this time. Mr. Albasta
No, Judge.
and Mr. Souter. And I'm stopping the live stream. Will remain on the record. I would like to get we need your current mailing address as well as a good working phone number because it's on YouTube. I don't want that personal information going out